Okay. Drawing, isometric drawing using the isometric scale. We would be more used to drawing using the axonometric setup, and you'll be glad to know that this is a good bit easier. So we're just going to draw this basic shape of a set of steps, and the measurements are up. Generally for this question, lads, you'll actually need to draw the elevation and the plan, because we need to have those measurements. It just makes it easier when you have this drawn. You'll see then I've set up just my isometric setup off at 30 degrees, and vertical lines remain vertical. Okay, so this is the bit that looks new to you here, the isometric scale, and it's quite manageable to do. It's quite easy to do. Basically what we do is we're going to use my 45 degree line. So you can see the 45 degree, it's the top one here, and we're going to transfer any measurements that we will need from plan and from elevation onto this 45 degree line. So how many measurements are there that I'm actually going to need? We've got a 10 mil, we've got 40 mil, and we've got 20 mil. So I'm going to get each one of those measurements. And again, this is why plan and elevation are handy to have. Get your measurement, step it off onto the top line. So this one was what? That was what? 20 mil, wasn't it? So I'm just going to mark that so that it comes through a little bit clearer for you. And I'm just going to write neatly above it 20. What other measurements was there? I'll work down with the 10 first. Okay. Get my 10, mark it on here as well. Again, I'll just heavy it in. That's 10. And I have 40 as well. Okay, so this is my 40 mil here. I'm going to mark that on. 40. You all with me so far? I'm actually going to add in a couple of other ones. Actually, one other one. I'm going to put in this overall height here as well. My overall height is going to be what? In elevation, guys? It's going to be 30, yeah. So I'm going to put in my 30 there and just mark it. It'll just make it easier for us later on. And I've them marked in. So what we would have done when we were learning isometric is we would have used these measurements here. But because the nature of isometric is that you're actually not looking at the two sides at 90 degrees, that means we won't actually see the true length or the true shapes of these sides. So this is why we were using the isometric scale. The isometric scale will help us scale the measurements so that it looks more realistic when we draw it on the sheet. Okay? And it's very simply done. All we need to do now is transfer those measurements from our 45 degree line down to our 30 degree line. And we just do that by dropping down vertically from each one of them. Okay? So dropping down vertically, and I'm doing it in green there. Okay? Are you all with me? Yeah. Dropping down vertically like so. Alright? This guy here? Yeah, well spotted. We'll throw that in now. It just makes it easier rather than having to plot 20 out 3 times. Can you give me another advantage for plotting 60 rather than plotting 23 times? You would lose your accuracy, yeah. So rather than using the compass 3 times, we're just going to use it once. And that will ensure that we keep our accuracy a little better. Okay, so this one is, what did we say it was, 60, was it? 60. Let me just write it in there. Okay, so as I would recommend with all isometric drawings, I'm going to do this in a light green now. With all isometric drawings, we'll start by drawing a box that will fit the entire shape. So the box we're going to draw, it's going to be 60 in length, it's going to be 30 in height, and it's going to be 40 in depth. Okay, so we're going to be going up a distance of 30 on our vertical line. Do I need to use the isometric scale on my vertical line? No. Why is that? Vertical lines always remain vertical in isometric. So I'll measure up my 30 there. Okay. And what else could I throw in there onto that vertical line? What other vertical measurements have I? 10 and 10. Which leads me to think now, why didn't I spot it at the time? We probably don't need that 10 drawn on the isometric scale at all, do we? Probably not. But look, it's doing no harm there. And I draw that off, and I'm doing it all lightly. Okay, so on this side, how far back am I going? A measurement of 60. So I get my compass, and now I take my new measurement for 60 off my 30-degree line. Are you with me on that? Can you see that there? Take my new measurement, and I step it off here. That's my new measurement, and I draw it up. Okay? We're going to move off this way now. What measurement do I need to get? 40. So again, we get my new measurement for 40 off my 30-degree line and scribe it off. Okay, and I can throw up my vertical line there. And bring it back, and I need to go a little more. Okay, so the box that will fit the complete shape is taking shape. Project back, and there we go. What other measurement do I need now? There's one more measurement I'm missing that I need to take off the scale. 20s, spot on. So I get my 20 on the scale, and I'm going to scribe it off here, 20 and 20. That should divide up this perfectly into thirds, and again, same thing here. And I'm doing it all lightly, don't worry. If you do the whole thing lightly, you'll have no issues. We can heavy in afterwards. And I'm going to transfer my 10mm heights around as well, like so. And now what's left to be done, lads? Heavy in, yeah. Take your time doing it. I'm working a system. I'm working with my 30-degree lines from top to bottom. Okay?
It's not a lot. It's not a lot.
I have whoever's in 380 for a second, please. If there's anyone.
Yeah, check.
Okay, we'll heavy in what we can. We can't heavy in everything yet, guys. Okay, and I'm going to go back now to I have one more to put in here. I have a couple more actually. And I'm going to go back to my light work again before I do any more heavying in, because I've got a few more points to find here. Okay, I'm going to use I've got a little kind of a pinky purple colour. I'm going to use, it might help you figure out what I'm doing here. So I need to come down vertically here and back over, like so. I need to come back here. Back over. I need to come a little more there. I'm making work for myself. Come down. And this will test your accuracy. If you're not accurate here, this will show it up. Okay? I got away with it. And now I can heavy in those pink lines. Again. Heavy them in. I'm going to leave my vertical lines to the end. What's missing from there now? 2 more lines missing, guys. Well, what am I putting in? Hidden detail. And how do I finish that hidden detail off? Dotted lines, yeah. Black dashed lines. And that needs to be put in. You want to get your full marks. This is what you have to include. Okay? Any questions?